What's good, y'all? It's your boy KCB. We got another one today. We're gonna continue with the dark melodies. We're gonna make an evil beat for Comethazine. Comethazine has some just crazy hard songs. Uses a lot of beats that have, kind of simple melodies or drums, but he brings the energy to it, makes it a banger. So we're gonna go ahead and start out making a dark melody and make this banger. So we'll see what we can cook up. What's good, y'all? It's your boy KCB. Today we're going to be making an evil beat for Comethazine. So this beat, we're going to use some similar aspects that we used in the last video I made, because we're doing dark melodies again. So some of those key facts or the tips there are going to be pretty similar to the last video. So if you just want to learn how to make dark melodies in general, this will be a great video, and then the last video as well will be great for you. So what we're going to do with this is, so for a Comethazine beat, I usually would do like a BPM a little bit faster. I mean, I'd probably go no less than maybe 130, 140 up to probably go 170 or 180. We're going to do 160 on this one today. So kind of similar to like the other video in the sense that we're going to be using a minor scale or a Phrygian scale. In this case, we're going to be using D minor, Phrygian. And so usually how I start these dark melodies is I always kind of make like a base for the melody, and usually with that I want something really ambient and that just sounds dark already. So I started off on this one with just a one-shot key from Lucent's kit here, the Frostbite one-shot kit. So I took, what was it, number 2, so this one here. So I took this key, and so I really just put 2 notes out, and I put them in the lower octaves, and from there I boosted the low end, made it really wide, added some reverb, and then actually compressed it with a bright setting so you can hear the lows a little bit more. So this is what we have for like the background melody here. So it's a really nice dark sound to start out with. So when I make these dark melodies, the key is if you're making the melody and you add a sound and like it doesn't sound dark anymore, some sounds will actually take away from that feel. So like with this, it sounds dark right off the bat, so that's great. We can just add to it. So the next sound we add, we want to make sure it kind of goes with it and it doesn't give off like a bright, light sound to where it just throws off the whole vibe. So that's what we're going to start with. And so from there, the next one I did was, let's see, just a lead here, actually from that same kit. I think it was, yeah, the lead 8, this one here. It's kind of another nice ambient sound. You can see how that can be kind of a dark sound. So from there we just use similar notes to like our main root notes for that. And then I added a bunch of different effects on there. Let's see, I went ahead and added EQ, kind of cut some of the lows and highs out I didn't want. Reverb, made it wider. Added like a ping pong delay on there. Added a synth ensemble for more ambience, and then a sound goodizer. So this is that one. So another kind of dark sound there, but so those two together we have is like this. So you see how those two go together. They have, a pretty similar vibe there, good ambience. So, so those two are great together. And then, so what I did on this one was, so I actually added just like a laugh, kind of like a little laugh in the back too, because with these dark melodies, adding certain effects to the melody actually really makes it, even more dark. So, like I just added literally a laugh. So it's like that. So I just have that playing like one time, during the melody. You do that just to really add something. You don't have to add that, but like that's going to sound pretty cool, you know, at least in this case with this melody. So we're adding that, and the last piece of this melody, kind of why I recorded this a little earlier, was I want to play around with effects and use that in part of the melody. So this here is actually a gunshot. So like this is what it sounds like by itself. So I pretty much lowered, right? I just pretty much slowed down the actual time of the gunshot, because that gunshot is actually just like the basic one. And here, so this is what it was. So that, and then I slowed it down to this, and then I added, yeah, so an EQ. So I cut out some of the lows, boosted the high just a little bit there, made it wider, and then added another synth ensemble, and then so I actually made a melody with that gunshot sound. And so this is what that sounds like. All right, and then so all those sounds together, the ones that we just looked at here, are this. Then I wanted just one more little thing to go, one other sound to go with that, and I wanted something to kind of match like one of the melodies with it. And I really wanted to use the organ, because organs, you know, a lot of times, depending on the organ, can have a great, you know, dark sound as well. So for this one, I pretty much just copied the other melody that we had, and so that one. So then I took the organ, and so yeah, one key element with these dark beats is make as many unique sounds as you can. You know, if you hear something and you're like, oh, that's a basic, you know, horn or something regular, you know, it's just not really gonna give you the feel that you wanted. And so what I did was actually took an organ, did the same melody, but I actually added distortion on the organ to give it, you know, even a more dark feel. So like this is that melody with that organ. Like that's something that I'll have come in like during, you know, the hook of the verse. That'll kind of be added to it. That'll come in a little later. So with all of those elements that we just looked at, this is what we got. You can see how everything flows together. It all gives the same vibe. Nothing really stands out too much. So of course I have everything mixed here. So when you do that, a mix with your melody is going to be a really important aspect. So that's really like the biggest thing with this beat, is just making a real dark melody like that. From there, the drums are going to be quite simple. You just want them to hit really hard. So I have a couple drums just kind of picked out here, but I'm just going to show you guys like a pattern that you would do for that. And then one thing you can do too is you can either do like 2 different 808s or 2 different 808 patterns. So that way you can kind of have it come in during like the hook or verse, or, you know, vice versa. That way it'll just kind of give this track more of like a certain section where the artist is going to go in, you know, a little more, or have their verse. So so let's go ahead and start placing some drums here. So let's see. variety to that pattern. Let's see. Alt-R on the hi-hats. A little bit. Alright, let's do that. Let's see what we got here. Switch the other one. Alright, we're going to go ahead and play around with some of the notes here on the 808. Alright, we got a lot of good stuff here. We're going to go ahead and chop this up. I'll kind of show you how. We're going to split this thing up here. Alright, so I changed it up a little bit. I took out some of the notes from 1-808 just because it wasn't really working with like the rest of the beat and the melody. So I just kind of made it just a little bit more simple here. I just kind of, let's see. Yeah, so I did just a little bit more simple melody. So it sounds like. So I went with that, just kind of like for the hook, and then the verse is kind of like the more simple part that we had before. So let's see what we got here. We got it all pieced together.
Kyle cooked this beat.
Well, that's the video today. Hope you guys liked the video and learned something. Hit that sub, like, comment, all that. There's going to be a lot more videos in the future. I will be dropping the Lost Souls loot kit this month. I'm thinking in a week or so I will make some promos for that for you guys. So hope you guys liked the video, and till next time, y'all.